The art of learning is extremely individual. And if we've heard a song, for instance, 500 times, it still sounds new when we listen to it with someone new. I mean, it's like when we expose other people to our knowledge, there's a rebirth in our interest because we picture it through their eyes, like, oh, their experience might picture differently, so it'll still feel different if we've heard it with someone new. And like whenever I quote Nietzsche that I've read, it still feels different when I explain it to someone of a different, persona than me. I highly agree with the idea that we should never judge a book by its cover. I mean, look at the classics. They all have different covers. The cover is never the same. All this whole vintage stuff, it's proof that we're running out of ideas. It's like, oh, let's go old school again. Okay, that's the new school? Whatever. Come to realize that no one could have read everything. It's ridiculous. But we can surely read about everything that's been written. A lot of people they think they know a topic just because they know of a topic. It's not how I do. But it's true that if the only true proof is experience, then no one can prove anything. I was just talking about science, but experience, the depths of emotion and feeling in the abyss, no one can teach you that. You either have it or you don't. I think I found out the difference between pleasure and happiness. It's not when only you can feel it, but only when you want you to feel it is it pleasure and not happiness. The act of selfish ego is the only thing that makes something pleasurable. Carl Jung's Red Book goes into this deeply. I'll talk about it later. I mean, certain people are a summary of millions of people. That's why the masses distract while people inspire, individuals inspire, whereas the masses are just, well, here's a general way of doing something. Individuals give you the way of doing something. I mean, back to the vintage thing, it's like reality shows as well are proof that actors are losing their touch. It's like we want something real to entertain us. Back in the day, entertainment was just like, whoa, fantastical. And now TV, and even clothing, is just like more old school looking. I mean, because actors are losing their touch because it's like they overact. And Nietzsche and I have a huge problem with actors to an extent because what makes you think you can recreate Napoleon's actual being when he fought at Waterloo? It's like when directors do it, they want to make it fantastical. But reality is more fantastical. Reality is more entertaining than entertainment. Hence the Blair Witch, Fourth Kind kind of documentary things. It just has a more eerie, creepy feel to it because of its realism. But ultimately, like, truly deep things are more fun than they are deep. I mean, if you look at things as a whole, like, a minor chord alone is sad. It's weird, it's depressing. But amidst other chords, it has potential for happiness. Like, some of my favorite Beatles songs are strictly minors, and there's like one major to bring you back up again. By the way, to define someone by their horoscopes, by the stars alone, is like defining a song by merely a genre of song. It's like, oh, he's a rap. Oh, that guy's rock. It's like, oh, that's Sagittarius, that's Scorpio. No. Everyone is their own specific song, their own recipe, okay? Astrologers don't negate free will, we just know its limitations. In physiology, everyone's talking about life is the whole point of life. Like, Emendum, cut your hair, brah. Emendum, you're an idiot. You look like an ape and you think like an ape. Life is not the point of life. Experience is the point of life. Look at the highest geniuses, the most brilliant innovators. They didn't have any fucking kids. Yeah, you got Emerson. Okay. Tupac, no Nietzsche, no Nikola Tesla. Life is not about spawning life. Life is about it's experiencing it for yourself. The climax in general, an orgasm. Doesn't physiology illustrate the psychological need for a climax for a woman? Why would a woman climax biologically, huh? There is no physiological reason that a woman should climax to create a kid. Yeah, it gets them a little wetter, but that doesn't help plant any seed whatsoever, if you know what I mean. So I'm saying the male climax is to spawn life and to feel good. The female climax is strictly to feel good. So, physiologically, pleasure is a necessity. And the church and all these religions that downgrade pleasure, like Buddhism, nothingness is pleasure, because you shouldn't have any desires. It's ridiculous to me. It's the biggest limitation on experience that there could be. I find it very strange that people blame Nietzsche for Hitler. That's like blaming Jesus for the Spanish Inquisition. It's like word of mouth, okay? Word of mouth is not... And I've been thinking about Nietzsche and Beyond Good and Evil. In my favorite sun sign book by McLaughlin, she says that Aquariuses can see beyond good and bad to what is. And Nietzsche's Neptune, the planet of spirituality and illusions, is exactly in Aquarius 3. So he sees beyond good and evil. His form of spirituality is beyond black and white. And Nietzsche once said that history perfect and complete, that would be cosmic self-consciousness. So 2012, if it's all of history fractaling in on itself through milliseconds instead of yearly intervals or whatever, history perfect and complete equals 2012.